Okay, great. All right, so today is November 8th, just for record keeping sakes, and I'm back. We're back to the LARRCC here, and I actually just got kicked out. I just took a little photo of the 1% manual tally, and I got kicked out. It's in the rules you can't take photos, but you really got to question why you can't take photos, especially when you're not taking photos of personal info and stuff like that, people's vote or anything. I'm not displaying that, and I even blurred out faces. But anyways, I got kicked out, so I'm not allowed to go back in for the rest of the day. I've been asking questions, and I'm working on a little bombshell piece that I'm going to talk about a little bit more. But here we are. We are here, and I just saw the 1% manual tally. So let me tell you about the process, because I don't think many people know, because it's not very transparent. It's not out there how the 1% manual tally works, right? So when you go, so they take you up to the 5th floor out of 7 floors in the LARCC building, and then they do have a lower floor, so it's 8 floors technically. But they take you up to the 5th floor, and there's 3 rooms where they do the 1% manual tally. So the 1% manual tally, basically, here's how it works. There's all these tables down, and it's a group of 12 people, groups of 3. So there's 4 groups, and there's groups of 3, and they're each. The first step was to get the little manual tally sheets ready. So basically, there's just this paper that has, like, let's say it was for Proposition 5 or whatever, yes, no, or didn't answer, right? Those papers that, they print them out, and it's like a whole bunch of papers. It's like hundreds of papers, and they need to organize it and make sure that it's all makes sense. Because sometimes there's some races that have like 7 candidates, so it's 2 pages, right? So they got to make sure that the pages are together. They staple them or paper clip them together, and then so that's the first step, and that takes a few days. I just found out today that the 1% manual tally was supposed to happen on November 5th, I believe, and today is the 8th, and I think it just started yesterday. It started yesterday. I missed it because they told me it was going to start today, and it turns out it started yesterday. But they were like, oh yeah, it's going to start tomorrow, maybe Monday. But anyways, I came back. They were in the middle of doing it, and so I was watching that. So basically how it works is there's those groups of 3. There's 4 groups of 3. They're up there. There's 1 table there. So there's 2 people to verify each other's handwritten tallies, right? So if it's a proposition, let's say Proposition 5 or whatever, yes, no, didn't answer. So there's a lady there's a person in the middle with a ballot box who pulls out the ballots, and they say, okay, yes. And then, the 2 other people mark it down. So they mark down yes, yes. And they mark it like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the cross. So that's how they do it. And so they have that sheet, and they just mark it. And there's like, it's a pretty big stack. Like, I got it in the picture, so I'll show it to you. But it's a pretty big stack, and then they basically do that the whole time, and yeah, so that is how it goes. They do that, they get the tally down, they get the tally down, and then they match it up. There's another tally sheet where they match it up to the machine tally, right? So there's a machine tally where in Downey, which you've seen footage of, and I'm going to put some footage up right now. Of the machine tally, how it tallies all these ballots super fast. It scans, takes ballot images, reads voter intent, decodes voter intent, and converts it to a CVR, otherwise known as a cast vote record. And then it is, I believe, sent off to a server and instantly tabulated. And there's a whole lawsuit about that, because I have footage of them starting to scan before election day, and if that machine only does 1 program, then those ballot images are all stored in a little server somewhere, and we're not going to assume that no one's just going to go grab that, right? There is access, and actually the opposition to Raji's lawsuit actually accepted that there is access, but it wasn't access. That it's accessible, but it wasn't access. So that's still going on. After a box gets tallied, there's a tally sheet that comes out that gives you the results, I believe, and then they match up their manual tally with the results that came out of that tally sheet. So that's basically how it works. They do that all day. They started first with the ballot marking device ballots, so the ballots that were casted in person at the voting centers. The next batch they're doing is the vote by mail ballots, and they had 3 rooms to do it. So when I came here yesterday, the first room was just setting up the papers, and the other 2 rooms were literally doing nothing. They were literally just sitting there on their phones doing nothing. 100%. I would have taken a picture, but I can't take pictures. But that's what's happening yesterday. Today, they are helping the manual 1% manual count tally by doing other races. I think one of my correspondents said that they're doing the presidential one in room 3, and they were doing a proposition when I was in the room 1. But when I took a photo, I got kicked out. So I didn't really have a chance. I did walk over to see the second and third room just to see what they were doing, to see if they weren't doing anything again. But thankfully, they were doing something. So that's interesting. This 1% manual tally has been delayed for multiple times now. And according to Raji Rob, he has it in his lawsuit that they gave the exact same excuse that, oh, the printers are down, the printers are not working, and that's the exact same that's the same excuse they gave during the March 3rd, 2020 primary when Raji was waiting for the 1% manual tally then. And it's happening again. So we spent $300 million on a new voting system, and the printers are the chokehold to this $300 million system and the manual tally. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, this is our democracy, and we should be able to see when what happens. You know, it's complete and total bullshit. It's not transparent at all. Every time I come here and I have questions, I always get, oh, you're gonna have to email that. Oh, I can't answer that, and oh, like, why are our election officials so in tune? And I just want to put it on record today that Elva, what's her name? Elva R. Gomez. She told me today that this office doesn't actually receive any vote by mail ballots or any other, voting center ballots, except for when they're doing the 1% manual tally, right? The only ballots they receive are the provisional ballots. So this is a key thing, and I'm going to explain to you why in the next video, because I have a press release, a major, huge press release to release. So there's 3 groups of 4 people, and yeah. How was it, Angelica? Come here.
I mean, I really don't like. So what they're saying is that the computer generated results may or may not be processed yet. So
What?
they have 12 batches that they're manually tallying and comparing.
The batches are the boxes, right? It's a white box.
Those are the boxes, and what they're saying is that these batches may not be the computer part of it, the generating part of it may not be processed yet. So my question is like, well, what are you comparing to?
Yeah.
What are you comparing? What you're just counting votes manually, but then what? You know what I mean? These need to be compared to something, because at this point, what I'm trying to explain to them is like this leaves the door open for election tampering, where they can just say that the computer said the same thing. So unless you have it printed and it's sitting somewhere separately, obviously, like double blind, I agree with them not having the information here to look at, maybe fine, but this information should already be somewhere for them to be able to compare it to. At this point, it doesn't make any sense for them to be manually tallying something that they're they have no other solid number to compare it to.
Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you're saying the tally report is not printed out yet. They're having issues printing it out?
They're saying is what Letitia, I believe her name is, Letitia told me, and Alba and confirmed, is that the the computer generating results may or may not be done. So they're saying that this tallying process happens in Downey, and that information is not here. They don't have access to that information, and so they can't tell us what even the computer generated results of these different batches are, because they don't have it.
So like, what the fuck? What? Okay. So do you understand? So maybe so people don't understand. So they can do the whole manual tally. They can wait until it's completely done, and then they can put whatever numbers on the computer generated one. And we have no idea because we have no idea who prints it, slash where it comes from, slash when it's already done. You know what I'm saying?
In theory, yes, that's what I'm trying to let them know, is that what's happening here is that you're leaving the door open for election tampering, because if you don't have the results already printed and sitting somewhere, what you can claim is that the manual tally matched the computer generated tally look, and then you just present whatever number you want. It's ridiculous. What are they comparing? They're just counting paper at this point, because they're not comparing anything. They're counting paper. They're counting physical, manifestations of what people voted on the computer, right? So it's the printout, but they have no other set of data to compare it to. So what's 1% tally, manual tally, is to compare it to the computer generated results to make sure that there's no discrepancy.
Exactly.
But there is no printout of the computer generated results.
So when the fuck? Okay, so when's the printout coming? Hold on. Alva, can I ask a quick question? Do you have a timeline for when the printout for the? Why not? You don't want to be transparent? All right. Okay, I understand. Is that for Mike? Okay, I'll call Mike. Thank you. So they don't have a timeline, and Elva doesn't want to go on camera to tell me that there's a timeline for when the computer-generated tally report will come out. So right now they're counting the manual tally. When the computer-generated manual tally, which is it's like instantaneous. It's instantaneous. How is it not available? How is it not available? This is the late. What was that paper you gave me? What date was it? What day was it? It was for the November 5th. It is now the 8th. It is 3 days. Angelica, this was supposed to happen 3 days ago. It was supposed to happen on the 5th, right? That was when it was scheduled to happen, the 1% manual tally. It was supposed to happen on the 5th. He put out a press release or something.
It was the 5th or the 6th. I do know that. Either way, here we are the 8th, and it still hasn't happened properly. Well, we need to have the printout. Where's the printout? We need the printout to compare the results. And they're just giving us the runaround. They keep on asking me, when you say compare the results, what exactly? It's like, what do you mean? What exactly do I mean? I mean comparing the computer generated results, which are the ones that you are reporting, right? That's the data that we are being given, right, at the public, matching the manual tally. That's what I mean by compare. It's like, what else could I mean by compare? They're just giving me the runaround. It's just crazy. It's like,
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to Downey. I'm going to Downey right now to find out where that tally sheet is. Okay, so what we did instead was actually stake out the back of the LARRCC Norwalk office. And here you see this guy carting a cart of white boxes that look like that's the same boxes that the ballots have been in. So we decided to drive over to where he was going to, and we see a white van. It's an LARRCC van, and he's loading up the white boxes up into the back of the van. And then we decide to do a U-turn, and here we go, coming around. Excuse me, quick question. Are there any ballots in there? Are there any ballots? Are those ballots? You don't want to answer? Did we catch anything? I don't know if we did. I mean, here's it's pretty sketchy, you know, loading up ballots into the back of a van. I took a guess that they would go down to Downey, which is right down the road from Norwalk. And lo and behold, here they are. We see them, the white van there, and an empty parking lot in Downey, which is where they count the tally votes. So we decided to roll up. I'm rolling up. And there's another guy with the cart, taking the ballots, taking the boxes, the white boxes. I don't know if there are ballots in there yet, but this is the tally facility where all the tallying happens. So I decide to go and approach, and here's what that is.
What'd they say?
It was, I asked if I can do observation of the tally room, and they said, let me see if there's somebody I can call up to escort you to the back. It looks like it's closed, but they're definitely running ballots right now. So, and we just saw a cart. So the cart that we've been following, that there were ballots loaded up from the LA County Registrar Recorder's Office in Norwalk, just came over here on a Sunday. Usually this whole parking lot, if we pan over to the parking lot, is completely full. So I know there's other offices in this building, so maybe people who do the tally stuff are parked in the back somewhere. But it is strange that it came on a Sunday, pulled up. There's these boxes, white boxes of what I think are ballots. They had a pink paper on them. I tried to zoom in on the paper in the previous video. Couldn't really see what it said, but I don't know, man. We're just trying to figure out what's going on, because why are ballots still coming in on a Sunday? There's no half of the ballot. There's no chain of custody that's printed out on a piece of paper. Oh yeah, this is what we're gonna do. You know, like that. Like classrooms have this. Like, oh yeah, when you go get your snacks, you have to go to the right side of the classroom, go up to the teacher, say I want this snack, and then go over here to the left, and then, you know, there's a whole process to everything. And we can't get a process in LA County, in the 5th largest economy in California, in the biggest county in America. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Turn it off. All right, so we just got done at Downey. When we pulled up, there was a van, and I think it was the same van that we saw at LARRCC Norwalk Office. It's just down the street from here, Downey. And a lady, it was one driver, brought over some boxes. And at first I didn't know if there were any ballots or not, but it seems like there are. It's a white box. It's the same white boxes that holds all the ballots. and she just came here and dropped them off, and we got that on video. And then I tried to follow the guy who carted all the boxes in to ask a question, but he went in too fast. It was like 10 seconds, like how quickly they carted these ballots in. And security told me that I told him I wanted to go see the tally room, the tally operation, and he told me, okay, let me call media relations to get somebody here. And then he just came out and told me that there's nobody back there right now. There's nobody working. That's what he said. Nobody's working there right now. Okay, so then why are ballots being brought right now? And who's receiving them if no one's working? This is outside of business hours. There's security. There's someone receiving ballots. Why is that happening? What is happening? What were those ballots? Were they provisional ballots? Were they vote by mail ballots? Were they BMD ballots? I want to know. And it should just be transparent, but it's not. So here's another example of how things are just not transparent with your votes. One of the most sacred things we have as a country in our Constitution, guaranteed by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And this is how it is in LA County, and I already said it, biggest county and the 5th largest economy in the world.
So what would you say to people that would say, well, why do you need to know? Why are you doing this on your own Sunday?
Because it's important to know where our votes go, because I want to know if there's any shenanigans going on. I don't just trust the people who run everything. Dean Logan has a history of corruption. He literally, look up the articles. King County, we'll put him up. King County committed fraud or election fraud. There was a lawsuit. He has a lawsuit right now against with Raji Rab, who's I studied his case, and 2 experts came out with their 20 years of experience to say that there was fraud being committed. And so now it's like, what? So we're just uncovering all the folds. It shouldn't be this secretive. It's secretive. It's like they're hiding something. There's ambiguity. There's so much ambiguity in the air. So
And you don't think you're doing anything wrong?
I'm definitely not doing anything wrong. I'm just asking questions, and no one can give me answers. And I'm noticing things, and no one can give me answers to any of these questions. So I'm gonna give Mike Sanchez a call, Jeff Klein a call, Dean Logan. Have fun trying to reach Dean Logan, but yeah, we're gonna give him a call.